Starting recording now. I know what we could do. Alright, so have you heard of Foley artists?
Foley artists?
Yeah.
No.
Like, they're the people who make sounds for movies. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, they're like, if they want to make a horse clop or something.
Oh, you want to record a squelchy?
Well, no, see, I'm just kind of,
vagina noise.
I'm sort of kind of wanting to, like, sort of, you know, play act what's actually going on based on the noises that are coming out of yours.
Okay.
It was a dark and stormy night. I was walking through the rain. This case had been weighing on my mind for ages. That goddamn Delilah. Where did she come from? Where did she go? My boots squelched through the mud as I walked into the farmyard. I walked up to the door. There was some strange liquid substance running down the outside of the frame. I touched with my hand. It squelched oddly. I cleared some mucus out of my throat and spat it out, and it made a squelchy noise. And all of a sudden, they walked through the door. A very, very fat lady. So fat, it was incomprehensibly large. She moved with a squelching sound. And then I had sex with her, and that squelched as well. Okay, I can't think of any other excuse to use a squelching noise.
Please tell me you recorded that.
Yeah, of course.
We should just put that at the front of the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And not tell anyone what the context is, just go straight into that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DumbKants.
Here's something that happened to me maybe a week ago or something like that. I get a phone call on my mobile from a number I don't know, haven't heard before. I pick it up. It just instantly starts talking to me loudly and directly in what I can only presume is Cantonese. I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert on that language, but it's just like, and I was, you know, I tried to interact like, you know, oh, you got the wrong person, but clearly it was either someone who was super duper pushy or, you know, it was a recorded message. One of the two.
Was it a guy or a girl?
Girl, as far as I remember. But, like, you know, one of those, you know, it's coming from China. It's semi-androgynous as it is anyway.
Fair enough.
So what do you make of that? Like, I'll tell you my thoughts, but I want you to, like, sort of put yourself in that scenario. And what do you think when you get something like that?
So you get a mysterious phone call, and you get a... Was she yelling?
Speaking with force.
With force. So, obviously, you've had sex with her husband.
Oh, is that okay, fair enough. No, fair enough.
No, to be honest, if that happened to me, I'd just, like, you got wrong number, hang up. Because, like...
Oh, like, so you talk like a Chinese person as well. Like, you got wrong number! Hang up!
Oh, that would be so funny.
No,
Yeah.
I went the rational route. I tried to say, no, this is wrong, and then it just kept going, so...
Oh, okay, you engaged her.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, my feeling is more that it was a pre-recorded message.
Really?
Yeah.
Like but like meant for, obviously, like Cantonese, Chinese
I guess
audience.
so.
That's weird.
I know. That's why I thought I'd bring it up.
Huh.
So my two thoughts are there's two potential things that are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, and, you know, I guess it being a weak post, this one kind of goes out of favour.
Mm-hmm.
It was a call to arms for Chinese people to, you know, finally take over Australia. Because, you know, they've been doing it the slow way up until now, and I think they've finally built up enough numbers that they can start kicking in some doors and dragging us away, yeah?
Ever since the Beijing Olympics. That's when they mustered their army.
Yeah, well, that's it. When they left a few. But my second thought, which I think is much, much more likely, I'd say this is like almost 100% likely, is that it was similar vein, similar concept. It's a general call to arms for all sleeper agents. So if you wanted, like... So what you do, the Chinese, you know, very powerful, very dedicated. They've been slowly doing these hypnotic programs. Possibly, I don't know, what's a good song to go with this?
Are we starting another conspiracy theory episode?
Well, it came to me. I didn't come up with this one. So, this'll do. So, you're going to sleep, right, you know, heading up to bed, put on your stocking cap and everything like that, brush your teeth. Sit in bed, close your eyes, and then outside there's a chopper with a silenced blade. comes down, a rope comes down, and a Chinese person slips through the window and starts whispering in your ear. You want to kill the president or the prime minister? Shifa-fa, shifa-fa. And, you'll associate it with, like, some Chinese words. But, you don't know. So, because you don't speak Chinese, you won't hear these things in your everyday life. Right. It's perfect.
So you're talking hypno-indoctrination.
Exactly. And then you get up again, you're like, oh, I didn't quite sleep all that well, but, maybe I drunk too much. Maybe it was a little bit, too noisy last night. I don't know. But anyway, but then they're like, when they get to this point in the Chinese master plan to rule the world, they then put out this general phone call. They get into all our phone networks, send out this message, and then, like, I suddenly snap to attention, go find the nearest police officer, say some phrase to him like, oh, I think I saw someone stealing a car over there. He turns around, I punch him in the back of the head, steal his gun, shoot him, and then, like, go on a killing rampage. And me and, like, every other person, the Chinese people have been doing this too.
So it'd be like mass chaos.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a call to arms for the mass sleeper agents. That sounds the most likely to me.
I think so.
Yeah.
And in fact, you're on your mission already.
Well, no, see, I'm not necessarily indoctrinated. I just, like, this is the glory of the system, the intelligence of it, is that they just, they just call everyone, essentially, and then just the people who respond, but everyone else, like me, is like, what the fuck are they saying? And we don't think any more of it.
Well, how do you know that's not just some, like, weird implanted memory? And so, like, you actually are indoctrinated at this point. You've been given the hidden hypno phrase.
Well, have I done anything,
Well, not yet.
Worries. Oh, okay, so you reckon...
haven't been activated.
Oh, Jesus, it's a long game. But, like...
Because that's never, as far as I'm aware, that's never happened to me. That cool. So, like...
Maybe you're not part of the right demographic.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, that and you sleep...
Maybe I'm part of
you sleep odd hours. Like, you're not necessarily sleeping all the night, so, like, that's true. You're not readily available for repeated indoctrination like me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can buy that.
Yeah, and you're, like, too busy, like, impregnating their females, so...
Well...
They're like, we have to keep him on the side of righteousness.
Well, no, but that's why they want to eliminate me, because I'm...
Oh, so yeah, they don't want you as a sleeper agent, they want me to kill you.
Yeah. So one day I'm going to wake up, you're going to be standing over my bed with a gun and, like, cat one through me, yeah.
Exactly.
And that's just because, like, Asian women love redheads. So, like...
They love some redheads.
Some. Not me. No, I can buy that. That's an interesting theory you got there.
See, I reckon that's...
I'm surprised you engaged. Because
well,
at the very least, I would have just ignored everything that was going on and just been like, it's some form of telemarketing thing. Hang up.
Yeah, well, I'm a paranoid motherfucker, so, like, well, I hear something I don't understand, I see something that doesn't make sense to me, I get angry, like a proper Australian.
Good.
I start accusing other races, and I start, getting more insular and stockpiling my beans and my guns.
Yeah, you have been doing that.
And by guns, I mean...
Well, why did you pick up a number that you didn't know?
Why did I answer it?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
If you're paranoid as fuck, why would you do that?
Well, see, the problem is I'm paranoid as fuck, but I'm also curious, which is probably why I'm such a prime target for, like, hypnotic kind of suggestion, because like all you have to do is say something curious, and I'll give you my full attention.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about a private number? Would you answer a private number?
Yeah, I would answer any number, man. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? Besides, me suddenly becoming active and killing people and killing myself probably in the end of it.
Well,
I know,
nothing worse than that. Phone herpes, I don't know.
Which US president was it who supposedly got killed by a sleeper agent? I guess the conspiracy theory.
Oh, wasn't that
maybe not killed, but he was shot. No, Kennedy, I'm sure that's one of the theories, but there was another president who was like before Kennedy who like... doesn't matter.
Well, the Kennedy president, the alleged assassin, that guy's like...
He was killed 2 days into custody. I don't think anyone got a proper chance to talk to him.
Oh, then I'm thinking of someone else. Well, there's another one where they had the assassin who...
Yeah, well, that's the one we're both thinking of. I just can't remember who it is.
No, but he's alive.
You might be thinking of John Lennon, or you're thinking of this guy who shot the other president.
Oh, well, this guy had some rifle anyway. He reckons the CIA... he's adamant to this day that he has no memory of the events. The big theory around him is that the CIA had... programmed him and then just activated him, and he's gone and shot the dude, and then he's completely forgot all about it. Darren Brown had that episode about
No, but that one where he shot at Stephen Fry with a pistol, that was literally about it wasn't a rifle, it was a pistol. This is exactly the same one, the president. So on this video, there's supposedly this girl in polka dot dress, which I don't know why conspiracy theorists have hooked onto, but they reckon they activated this guy. It wasn't a rifle, it was with a pistol.
Well, it's because the polka dot dress is really distinctive. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like you're unlikely just to randomly come across it, I think.
Yeah.
Because it takes like a chick with a certain level of flair to want to wear like a big, obvious, overt polka dot dress.
Yeah, I mean, I never trust women who wear anything that's like, remotely
Just leave it
exciting. yeah, who wear anything. That's right. Like, I want a woman, I don't trust her. She can have weapons concealed anywhere. Like, they're creatures of pockets. That's what a woman is.
And
so like
that
they
is
have
sadly
to be
true.
They have to be as open as possible for me to get anywhere near them.
Be careful of the razor blades.
All right, I think that one's run its course.
It has.
I was on the bus. We need a button.
We need a bus button.
Yeah, which is like Alex is on the bus. All right, well, hang on. This can be my bus buddy theme song. Okay.
At least for now.
So I'm on the bus, right? Doing what I do, forcefully not making eye contact with people. When they look at me, I look down and then I stare holes in the back of their head when they look in the opposite direction. Something like that. Reading my communist manifesto, the Unabomber manifesto.
See, you've been manipulated by the Chinese. You're communist.
Busily trying to think how I can dominate the world. Anyway, and I see this bloke at the front of the bus, and he had like a milk bottle. Like plastic one we got these days, like the big plastic ones. 2 litres, I'd say, 2 to 3 litres. Filled with what can only be described as blood-looking freaking contents. Like, it was colour of blood, seemed to leave how when you... In movies, I mean, I've never sort of seen any great quantity of blood in real life, but they sort of slosh it on the side of a container, it kind of leaves a streak before it runs down. It looked like that. And... once again, is this one of those ones where you're it's what do you think there? My first thought, because I'm me, is he's going to try to rob the bus by threatening to throw this blood in people's faces. And that also led me on to thinking of what's the most... What do you reckon you could rob a place with that people would not think as a weapon at all, initially?
At all?
Yeah.
Well, just quickly on the blood thing, there is a real story about a person who had, because they have various blood diseases. They've gone and gotten a syringe and drawn their own blood, and then they hold people.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't come up with this idea out of nowhere. I have heard of those before, people saying, I got AIDS-y, plaguey, something like that. Yeah, I'll stick you if you
give me the money.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you reckon? I mean, obviously, people could rob places by beating off or something like that. I mean,
I would just let them beat off. Give me the money.
And just start to do really unsexy things, clear your nose,
yeah, that's right.
You'd be disarming him. That's a tactic they teach to the SWAT team, is just, if a guy is aggressively, biologically trying to attack you, just do something so unsexy you can't maintain an erection. So turn up is what I'm saying.
That's a good procedure. Just send me anywhere. No, maybe an edged spoon.
But how okay, so robbing a place, right, is all about the threat. You're not ever in much advantage actually hurting someone when you're robbing, because then you've lost. You just want to threaten to hurt them. How are you going to transmit this spoon as dangerous to the people you're trying to rob?
Slap someone in the face with it.
So cut their face?
Yeah. Like a little cut. Because when you're holding a knife to someone's throat, you don't want to just let it sit there. You got to do a little bit of cut so they know it's sharp.
True that.
So, with my edged spoon, it's innocuous, so it doesn't look like a threat. But then if I just whack someone with it, and then they get this nasty gash on the side of their face, then it's threatening.
See, I reckon I could I could have a bag of dog shit, and you grab someone from behind in a sleeper hold, and you hold it right near their mouth. I think people would be highly responsive to that, and no one's gonna look at me too much if I'm carrying around a bag of dog shit, because they're just going to assume I'm about to put it in the bin or something.
We're just going super hardcore, high school at this point.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do next? Threaten with noogies?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what.
Just get me in a headlock, noogie them to death. What's with the the speaker?
I don't know. I think we've got multiple Bluetooth thing happening and it's jumping. Don't matter. Anyway,
Looks like it might be nearly out of battery.
that could be. Oh yeah, no, I see. There's two things paired to it. Anyway, point is, I reckon. I mean, this guy got off the bus as far as I can tell. He didn't do anything.
Right.
Surprise, surprise. Otherwise, I'd have a much better story. But just like carrying around a jug of what looks like blood, like maybe he's like a really dedicated blood donor and like, did it himself, was just going to come in.
Could have been just like a thick juice. And he's like some massive hipster who just came from like Lala Cafe.
Yeah.
With like their watermelon strawberry sludge. And they're just like drinking it.
Could be. I mean, it was a lot if he was. Okay. It looked very much like blood. Or maybe...
Well, what sort of jug are we talking about?
No, it's just like, the standard, like what we've got in the fridge.
Oh, okay.
Like just like a big milk bottle.
Oh.
Yeah, so clearly it didn't come with that in it.
Yeah.
He put that in it, which, is question number one.
Yeah.
Question number two, why does it look so blood-like? Look, maybe, this is like the new health and fitness thing. I mean, what would hydrate you better than actually drinking blood? Because you're like, you've got a perfect electrolyte and thing. Actually, that's completely false. I know that drinking blood can make you very sick.
Yeah,
but I'm just thinking maybe it's a health thing because there's some like queen at one point who bathed in virgin blood to keep her beauty. So maybe drinking blood will make you well swole.
Maybe.
There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Like maybe he's a cultist. Maybe he's going for his.
That's like the lowest effort cultist possible is just wanders around with a fucking thing of blood. Like, all right, I'm going to go pour this on something. He's like, no, you fucking put the effort in, son, and go get your own sacrifice. You can't mail order your blood. I don't know. All I thought was I was like, that's very odd.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, here's a question. Given the chance, would you have asked him what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would have. But, like I said, I don't know. I was doing my own thing at that point. Sometimes, I have no trouble talking to people. I just don't always consider that's the best option at some point in time.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're going up talking to a guy with a jug of blood,
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's going to be... Something interesting's going to happen.
You got to watch yourself, man.
Yeah, I know.
He might throw it in your face.
That's right. Pull out a turkey baster and...
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
Well, that's what those are good for, man.
But turkey basters... Basting turkeys, squirting blood in people's eyes, and impregnating lesbians.
Yeah, pretty much their prime usage. Not necessarily in that order.
Attention, please. Attention, please. So here's another one that happened to me.
Okay.
All of these are opinion-based ones about these are weird things that happened to me.
Yeah.
And I know my gut reaction, and I want to know, what your gut reaction is. So, walking. Walking, see man. Old man. Call him 75 to 85. Somewhere within that bandwidth. He has a beard, good Nordic-looking beard. He's not a big guy, but he's not small either. Which, in the average world is how we describe as average. And I'm just like, okay, fair enough. I think I know what's going on here. He's just a dude. He fits into this stereotype. He's walking along. He pulls out his phone and starts talking to someone. He has the most high-pitched voice I've ever heard.
Like Mike Tyson, sort of?
Hello. Along those lines. But still got old man crackle and all that sort of stuff, but high-pitched voice. Right. What do you think, Trent? What do you do?
Well, what do I do?
Talk me through this. Talk me through what Trent would do if he was in my situation. I mean, the first thing Trent would do is if he was in my situation, if he was me, was he'd go out and use my looks and intelligence and beauty and money to do all those things that he'll never be capable of. But in this specific instance...
I would probably gut react with a chuckle or a laugh and try to hold it in until I was past or well out of range.
Well, yeah, no, of course that. But what do you, how does this update your image of this man? So I've painted a small picture of you, something completely unremarkable.
He's completely messed up. You don't want to deal with that guy.
Yeah, like he's an old serial killer or something like that. Like, have you ever heard of fucking Albert Fish?
Yeah.
The serial killer?
I've heard the name. I don't know anything about that one. He
used to stick fucking needles in his perineum. His taint.
Yeah, no, I've heard of this. Yeah.
Like, and kill people, you know. And he's...
Wait, how are those things connected exactly?
Well, well, Trent, come.
One axe for you.
I know. Okay, all right. So yeah, there should have been a comma somewhere in that sentence. But yeah, no, he. I don't know. I guess I was just trying to emphasize that old men can be fucked up too. Look,
I think you're destined for fucked up as you get old. So like, everyone's gonna be like slowly more and more messed up as they get older.
You don't think you get better as you get older?
No, I don't think so.
That's a bit sad.
Like, I think you just sort of deteriorate over time.
Yeah.
Like, as your memory starts slipping, you start forgetting all the things that sort of define who you are, and you start filling it with like random crazy stuff.
Fantasies about like that girl that you met last week does actually want you to like give herself a chloroform rag to sniff, and she'd just love to wake up in a basement, and all the screaming she's doing is just
correct
acting to heighten your sense of arousal.
And then out comes the turkey baster.
And see, I wouldn't have as much problem if he fucking killed her. Like, just that introduction to turkey baster and us talking about like blood. Oh,
no, the
See, my first thought was pedo, but I think serial killer like makes more sense, I guess, because I sort of had like a bit of like a Family Guy kind of that old man vibe. It's like,
and I mean the beard throws me off.
You're getting big and strong, aren't you, boy? Oh, look at those thighs.
Wait, what was he wearing?
Oh. All right, Trent, I'm not going to enhance your spank bank here. I can't remember.
No, well...
What was he wearing? What do you think he was wearing underneath?
Was it a denim jacket?
Was he swinging low? Or his nuts scraping on the ground?
Well, I just want to know, was he
sounding like Velcro slowly being ripped off?
Was he hunched old man with like high pants and like slacks?
I think so. I don't know. I really didn't pay that much attention.
Or was he kind of like biker old man with like the denim vest? I think someone's here. With like a denim vest and pants.
Denim vest. Okay, then his high voice would make a lot more sense if he's wearing denim vest and leather pants, like you said.
Yeah.
But no, he wasn't.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how to react to this situation. Like, I mean, the only thing we can say for certain is there's no fucking way either of us would be talking to this guy.
No.
We'd be like forcefully not maintaining eye contact.
Right.
And if he asked us for help in anything, we'd both scream rape, kick him in the nuts and run away.
Yes.
This we've semi-talked about, and, it's been in the forefront of my mind.
Yes.
A very important thing. I recently watched a great show that everyone should watch called The Undateables. About people who cannot, conventionally date for a variety of reasons, some form of disability. Whatever. There's intellectual, physical disabilities. My favourite of the intellectual disabilities, as I was saying to you, because dating is so much about bullshit. It's so much about denying what you want up until you get it. I'm sure healthy dating is about like being expressive, but 75% of the world is not healthy dating. And whereas these people, it's not exactly what you'd call healthy dating, but there's no bullshit to it. It's unhealthy in other ways. And it got me thinking about like, I love it so much because you just watch these intellectually disabled people just like completely speak to the subtext of social interactions and not to the PC other bullshit that people like tend to do. And I was like, all right, dating world, this makes me laugh because, I got a foot in that world. I was like, in other places in society, could we use a little bit more disabled energy to sort of like clear out the bullshit and, get people back on the path of righteousness and saying how it is and not just fucking around?
So anti-PC activists are intellectually
Well,
disabled.
see, but the thing is, they are the perfect weapon, though, Trent, against people. Because people, like, will hate you if you open the can of worms. If you start being like, I don't know, maybe we don't want gender equality in this. Maybe men are just, more suited to this, or women are more suited to this, and, like, gender equality doesn't work. But people shoot you down for that. Whereas if a disabled person says that, they're fucking bulletproof. They're like the perfect candidate because they don't know anything else. You can't expect them to do anything else. It's like one of those classic, oldie time riddles, or like Harry Potter. Like the only person who can get this stone is someone who doesn't want this stone. How the fuck does that work? So we have to have this perfect candidate of this like delightful little mongoloid who just comes along and like, talks about the elephant in the room. So this is good for politics, freaking medical things, race relations, gender relations, anything. I don't know anything in the world. Like, I want like a little monga on me shoulder, like a parrot, like you know how like
a little monga,
like you know how pirates used to have like a parrot on their shoulder, and like you know they'd be like talking shit to the captain or something that, and you'd be like, this guy comes in, he's like disrespects the captain, and then the captain's like, oh, we'll have to see about that, won't we, landlubber? And then the parrot's like, you're walking the plank, or something like that. Whereas my monga, I'd be like going into a situation and, you know, a work meeting, and I'm like, look, guys, I'm really grateful for this opportunity to come here and discuss the ideas. And the monga's like, you know, he would rather be at home, like, looking at Scandinavian fart porn and masturbating. And if we all had one of these, we'd all be equal, yeah?
Well, because you have your...
I finally found a use for intellectually disabled people, Trent, and you're not supporting me.
That's so mean. Well, at least they'd all be employed.
Yeah, I mean... they'd be on a premium, man. I'm sure there's more, like... there's much more normies, as you would put it.
Yeah.
Like normal people, like useful people.
As
like
I would put it.
As you would put it. I mean, like, you know, God's creatures as opposed to hellspawn, as you would put it, you know, in your words.
Yeah, sure.
And so, like, you know, you'd have to pay a premium because I'm sure there's like, what, a 10-to-1 ratio, 20-to-1 ratio? I don't know.
Yeah, so basically you're saying all the intellectually disabled people are going to be rich on your scheme.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing the world a favour. What the fuck are you doing?
Nothing even close to that. Can you implement this? I want to see it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, in politics, right?
Yeah.
You know how you have, like, you know, in international politics, you have like an interpreter. Because, I mean, you could theoretically do politics where nobody knows what anyone's saying. Nobody is asked doing an interpreter, but it's the courtesy we have. The way that we kind of try to even out the playing field.
Okay.
So I reckon it should, I don't know who would implement this, like the UN or someone like that, to say every politician now has to have a severely intellectual disabled person that walks around with them and's like the monger of truth. And the monger of truth is always with this person. So they know all the hidden facts.
Okay.
And they've got no guile to hide them at all.
So would you be comfortable paying money to have like an intellectually disabled person like sleep with you in your bed or stand in your room and watch you?
Well, see, I didn't know I wanted this until you said that. But now I can't think of anything else. I'm pulling some extra shifts at work.
You bring your girl home.
I'm selling off my car and my fucking all my clothes and everything like that.
Well, you're gonna bring your girl home and have him stand in the room, and that kind of does it for you.
Yeah, well, that even more so for sex, because then it's sort of like she's like, oh, you know, I just want to let's just kiss, and Carl's like, he wants to fuck you up the ass. And it's like, look, I didn't say it, you know, look, but it's a good suggestion, man. Like, listen, listen to the fella, you know.
Yeah.
No? Yes?
How would that go down for the women though?
Okay.
She's faking her orgasm.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be no bullshit. We'd all be so much happier because of this system.
Would we?
Like I said, mongers are the ultimate truth serum, as long as you keep them with you all the time.
Isn't the point of white...
They're a talisman of integrity. They show that you're a man of integrity if your monger, like, cannot, like, derail you.
Isn't the point of white lies, though, to, like... isn't the point of little white lies is to kind of, like, obscure truths that are hurtful and don't need to be said? So,
look, there's going to be some collateral damage, Trent. Like, my mum's going to know that I don't like her cake, and, you know, or something like that. But, you know, the flip side is that we're going to, like, start to have these great gender relations where, like, you know, bullshit is taken, you know, all the bullshit that we do is taken out of the equation. Politics, you know, like, we're going to know what scumbags our politicians are actually, and, like...
Why? But... is there any real difference between our politicians and intellectually disabled people anyway?
No. You're better than that, Trent. That was too easy.
No, I was just thinking, like, why not just swap out the politicians and put the, you know, intellectually disabled people in that position? Because if we're basing our politics off pure honesty and lack of diplomacy and decorum, then what we end up with is basically that we may as well just swap out the politicians, put in the... disabled people.
Interesting.
So, like, if every country had their own autistic person running the country, like some autistic savant who has no social skills, just pure practicality.
Yeah. Well, that is actually what I want. I want a computer running the show. You know that.
But then what if you have two computers running opposed to each other?
Well, then they'll start to develop like, a subliminal communication and kind of, then we're probably all fucked because once you get more than one computer, then they'll like start to realize, these people aren't so great. We can create more of ourselves, blah, 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 blah.
Was that a song called Stay on Target?
No, that's from Star Wars, man.
It sounded like that guy was going to sing.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying,
target.
we're getting off topic now a bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, that's all good. I think that one's run its course. What we'll finish off today with is a last bit of advice. Like I said, I feel like we really should be trying to make the world a better place because it'll even out our karmic wheel. I mean, we do enough shameful, scummy shit, as it is normally, so we have to give something back to the people. So last time was toothpaste on your pants, as far as I remember, was what we were trying to figure out what you do there. This week, I'll set up the scenario. So you're, let's call it a work meeting. You're at a work meeting. You're carrying on as you normally do, sitting there, not paying any attention, because who the fuck does in a work meeting? And the thing about being a man, now this is for any women, for the woman who is listening to this.
The one
that we, would get and lose very quickly.
They only last an episode.
Yeah, exactly. If you're sitting around as a man for 15, 20 minutes, I don't know what the borderline is, but that seems about right to me, and you're not doing anything, you will inevitably start to get a boner.
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible to not.
Yeah. Car rides for me do it.
Yeah. I think it does it for women as well, to be honest, depending on what sort of terrain you're going over.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so you start to get a boner.
Yeah.
And they're like, Trent, get up here. We need your presentation. Come on, quick as you like. And you're at full mast. You're not even half chub now. Like, you're raging boner. So you've got like 10, 20 seconds to react because, you can shuffle your papers and then slowly get up. But how do you handle this situation, Trent?
I've got a very good solution, actually.
Okay.
And this has actually happened to me. I want to point out. Do you want me to start with the story or just my solution?
Put some flavour on it.
So, I was in primary school.
Yeah.
It was probably like grade 6, I think. Okay. And I get up, I have to give a speech. And for some reason, I've got a boner and I don't understand why. Okay. I was young.
Typical.
Now.
Typical Trent.
And naturally, what I thought to do was just stick my hand in my pocket and hold it against the side of my leg. So then I look.
So you look like a 1940s gangster, shuffling up with one hand. Shay, and the teacher's just got her face in her hands. Like, oh, fucking Trent. This kid's going nowhere in life. He's like, it's all right. We need people at the cheese factory.
That's right. No, it was an easy one in the school because it was a math class and all I had to do was get up and put the answer on the board to the thing. So
I'm just seeing you like with one hand like dug deep into your pocket, grabbing it against your leg hard, shuffling up like, Dawn of the Dead up to the board, keeping your eyes down, writing up the definitely wrong answer and then shuffling back to your desk.
Number 2. Yeah. No, but I reckon you can do that in like casual sort of business setting.
Right.
If you're wearing boxers as opposed to briefs.
So what, you stick your schlong down the trouser leg or something?
Yeah. And then like worst case scenario, it just looks like you got a massive schlong.
True though.
But then like...
Or you can tuck it into your belt. That's the other option.
You can, but like you got to be careful of that because it might come up through your business shirt and poke out through the buttons. But like...
so if you're in that situation, ladies and gentlemen, here's my advice. Maintain fierce eye contact with everyone. Don't break eye contact with anyone for 5 seconds. So you're going to be moving your head like a lazy Susan, which is being powered by a diesel engine. You're just going to be looking around as quickly as anything. But that way, no one will have a chance to move their eyes at all and see, what's below.
Actually, here's the thing. If you're wearing briefs and you get a boner, is that really that bad? Because it really just makes you look like you have a bigger bulge. Because it's like trying to expand, but it can't go in a straight line anywhere because it's cupped. The worst place it goes is up your bum.
I can still poke out the leg. I don't know, man.
Depends on the angle you're coxing at, I suppose.
Yeah.
But if it's bunched up, then it just looks like you got a massive bulge. So that's cool. But then like,
Guess so.
and if it goes down the leg anyway, briefs are tight enough where they hold it anyway. So then it just kind of like.
So you're saying we should walk around with constant erections, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because then like you'll just be more impressive because you
Be more attractive then, Trent. You know, you're not doing your part in this relationship.
Man, all I've got is my cock. So no, my advice would just be like you gotta pin it, and like if you're in a business like attire, like. You know,
so yeah, like I'm in a really nicely tailored suit. It's like very, very like fitting.
Yeah.
There is no, like, it's like a freaking spacesuit. Like there's no extra room for.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking here, right?
So it's gonna be fucking obvious.
Yeah. So like, here's what I'm thinking, which is like, have you ever seen those business attire fashion model photos?
Yeah.
Where it's got some dude, and he's like striking a cool pose with some sunnies and a tailored suit, and he's always got one hand in his pocket.
Right.
So if before you get up, you quickly shovel in, scoop your cock up to like going around your hips, sort of, and then just casually put your hand in your pocket, thumb hangs out of the pocket, so you're kind of like flicking the suit up.
I feel like you're going to be making a bad situation worse if you're like hanging onto your cock the whole time.
No, maybe it'll give you the confidence. You know what I mean?
Just give it a stroke every time, like, you know.
You're just like, oh, good boy. No, but like you have it, and you just have a hand casually in your pocket, and then you put on a bit of a swagger so it looks like you're really confident. And then what you do is you just gesture with the other hand. You distract them with the other hand. And so you're just like...
So you're like...
So as you can see from the flow chart...
What was it? Alas, poor Yorick is like the sort of the position you take. Like a very Shakespearean pose.
Yeah. Because it'd be like, as you can see from the flow chart, you know, things are on the rise. Like,
I don't know. See, I reckon this... I reckon that there's credence to your advice, but I also reckon, you know, if that's not your normal way of operating, you're going to look like a complete gimp doing that.
True.
Is that better than, like, just having a raging boner? I don't know. Someone field test that for us, would you?
Well, in my experience, those, like, spontaneous boners don't last forever. So if you can hold it off for, like... Hold it off. If you can hold it off...
Or hang on, maybe here's what you do. You have a speed wank.
What?
Like, you know,
so they call you up and you're like, oh, I wasn't...
It's just like, oh, you just shuffle your papers, cough a bit, and like, you know, do, you know, 120 RPM.
See,
Look, I'm thinking outside the box, Trent. This is how, like, this is how we, like, won World War II.
My immediate next reaction was like, if you had to get up and you've got like a spontaneous boner, maybe you just like talking. Instead of holding your cock to the side, most business meetings have like ice water. Just like get an ice cube from your glass and drop it down your dax.
Also, like, you just like lean him out like, you know, Jared from Subway pulling out his sweatpants, drop it in.
Yeah.
Right on that, Chief. I'll start the presentation up.
That's right.
I mean, it's definitely a power move. I'm not denying that.
Yeah, that's right. And like, no one will necessarily know. You just like, you know, you get your ice, your water, you drink.
Except then, like, you know, it's slowly going to start melting in your pants, and this wet patch is going to slowly expand and run down your leg.
No, because it's not a sufficient volume. And I've thought about this.
Okay.
There's not a sufficient volume of those mini ice cubes, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't need multiple. You just need one, I think. All right. Now you put it in your briefs. Right, so you got a couple of layers of clothing going on. Assuming your suit's black. If your suit's grey or white, you're gonna actually even white's better because it doesn't grey shifts color easy. So like you take this ice cube, stick it down your johns. It cools off. I mean, it warms up in your balls. All right, your boner goes down.
Yes.
And then because of the heat of your crotch, the water dries really quickly.
There's too many variables, Trent, here. You're fucking, you know, you're making too many assumptions. I think, you know, here's what's going to be happening. Someone's going to be listening to this podcast, and then it's going to happen to them about 15 minutes later. They don't have time to set up, like, you know, perfect suits to put ice cubes down their pants at work and everything like that. They need, like, you know, a practical Swiss Army knife solution for this in everyday life. I reckon you're onto something with your grabbing with your hand.
Yeah, you just got to grab with your hand.
And I reckon if we combine grabbing with your hand with the forceful eye contact that I'm talking about, so no one ever has a chance to look down, you're golden.
Yeah, I can buy that.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Because like the important thing
Use this one for us.
The important thing is holding it close to your body so it looks like you're not at full chub. It's just your nature.
Also, half chub's alright. in an office. Like, I mean, that just means you're excited about your work, yeah?
Yeah. No, because like if you got a full boner and it's pushing your pants away from your body, then people know you got a boner. Where if it's close to your body, then it sort of just looks like it's just how your cock is naturally, like flaccid.
Fair enough. So maybe it's a career move to like, have a chub at work, because then like everyone's like, here's the big dick coming along, and then people wilt around you.
Can I add to this topic?
Okay.
Because it's related.
I'm approaching this with a suitable sense of dread.
You got a hot coworker or boss,
right?
And at some point you hug him, and you got a boner.
Mm-hmm. How do you get around that?
Is that a problem?
Have you poked them with it, or have you done like a friendship hug where the hips aren't that near each other?
No, I'm going to assume like your cock has to come in contact at some point. So it's a reasonably close hug. Might not even be a boss or coworker. Maybe just a girl, right? Hugging a girl.
It's a front-on hug, yeah. It's not like a side hug or a back hug.
When you got a boner, yeah. How do you make that situation out? Like, is that of concern to you?
I'm not 100% convinced that she would actually know.
You don't reckon?
I mean, we've always got shit in our pockets, yeah. And like, your legs, muscles, there's a lot going on there. Like, biology is complicated, and you've got a couple of like layers of clothes that are sort of obfuscating what's actually going on there. So I reckon step number 1 in my 5-step process is denial. It didn't happen.
Do you have a boner? No.
Well, hang on. If she asks you, we're through step number 1. Step number 1 is pretending it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. Like, even if she slightly suspects, the fact that you don't like acknowledge it or anything like that means that like, she might reinterpret in her head like, oh, that didn't happen. Of course it didn't happen. Step number 2, you poke her hard. You poke her like you do with your girlfriend in the back of the back, first thing in the morning.
Okay, yep.
All right, what do we do in that situation?
Well, see, in that process, you're going through it with confidence.
Okay, but in that situation, what you do? See, I don't know. Do you hug both hands on the same level, one up, one down? Like, is it like a sash?
I mix it up.
Do you hug low? Do you hug high?
I mix it up.
Okay, so in that situation,
I go low if I know the girl.
Okay, so this is like a this is somewhat of an advanced move for chronic boner huggers around there.
I love how you're getting like you're now going into like pro.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Trent. I'm going to bring my A game to this. People need to know. So if you get like, you probably have like a second to react to this. Mm-hmm. So you're hugging this person. You come one arm high, one arm low. What you do is you come in with the low hand and you poke her with it. And so it's conceivable that you poked her with your hand and not with your cock when you were going for the 2 hug over. And then you back off and you're like, oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to.
My issue with that is position. Like, your cock's going to be poking her almost directly where her badge is, depending on her height. How are you going to poke her to convince her that what's poking her there is like your hand as opposed to the cock?
Because, I don't know, you just come around to poke her in the belly or something like that, accidentally, and just be like, oh, whoop, shit, sorry.
But then once your hand's around, your cock's going to continue poking.
Okay, in which case, okay, so you poke, back up, say sorry, let's do that again, push cock to the side suddenly.
Because she won't notice that.
Trent, this isn't a perfect solution because this isn't a perfect situation, all right?
Going for a hug. Oh, no, hang on, sorry. Adjust. Now let's go.
Once again, I feel like it's aggressive eye contact maintenance that's necessary to wallpaper over this, all right? Yeah, okay. Look, if you do it like that,
Okay, well, that's...
I mean, if you do that, I should say, it's not going to work.
Okay, well, step 2, it works for Xander just because it's like...
all right, okay. Step 3.
So what can normal people do?
Step 3 is you don't have any pants on, and it's completely unambiguous that you're probably all right anyway.
Alright, so we've got no pants on at this stage. What the fuck is step 5?
Step 5 is you're penetrating her repeatedly, and she said, oh, hang on, where did that come from?
Oh, so this is just basically your like dating progression. You're working your way up to naked man.
I have no sort of... There's no work relationship that I have that I'm not trying to progress all the way up to, like, dating them.
Fair enough.
Including the men, especially the men, in fact.
Have you ever been poked by a man's boner?
I don't... If I have, I've fucking suppressed the shit out of it. You know what I mean? Like, the only time I would remember that, you'd have to ask me at like 2 a.m. when I wake up in a cold sweat. Well, I'm just like, no lollipops.
I don't know about you, but like, do you ever notice when like a cock grazes against you? I mean, I hug a lot of dudes, and you notice it sometimes. Like, it's just there.
I don't think I do. I think I forcefully blocked that out.
Fair enough. It's too traumatic for you?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just all like being slowly filed in the back of my mind in the subconscious vault of the cock vault, which is, eventually going to overflow. And then my mind, that's probably what's going to turn me gay eventually, to be honest.
Probably.
Yeah, that all this suppressed cock knowledge suddenly comes out and I'm like, why am I thinking about cock constantly? Oh, I must be gay.
Maybe.
And I'll welcome that when it comes, It'll be a new phase in my life. I'll have a new set of priorities, a new set of things to talk about. But up until then, I think my cock vault is still strong.
Do you feel awkward when you see a cock on, like, a TV show?
No.
Like, they have, like, a naked dude and the cock
Honestly,
just flops
not.
out? You don't feel anything?
What are you trying to say? Do I feel anything?
Well, what I mean is, okay, so, like, when you see a naked chick on a show...
Yeah.
Like...
You're like, hoi!
Well, are you like, hoi, or do you just kind of,
I don't know,
or
man.
is it just sort of
in
sit off?
this age that we live in, I'm so fucking numb to all that sort of shit that I just see, like, tits, vag, bum, cock. And I'm just like, okay.
Right.
I'm sure if she was chucking a spready and doing a full gaper, it would be different. But, like, I don't know. Real life is so much better than digital. This is a very positive note, It
is a very positive note.
I just like, digital just doesn't do all that much for me.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Until they invent smell-o-vision. And then we get like a nice musty. And then I'm like, it's as good as it's as good, if not better, than the real thing. Alright. Trent, what have we learnt today?
What have we learned today, man? What we've learned is that despite the fact that you shouldn't approach strangers or answer weird phone calls and whatever, we're still going to do it anyway because curiosity is more powerful than sense. We've also learned serial killers have soft feminine voices.
Yeah. That's always the thing. Yeah. I mean, not to get into a new topic too quickly, but yes, a serial killer, like, I don't think there's ever a manly serial killer. They're always like
Effeminate.
effeminate.
What about Manson?
What about him? He wasn't a serial killer.
Oh, he's just a mass murderer.
He didn't kill anyone.
Didn't he kill loads of people by proxy?
By proxy, yeah, but he didn't actually kill anyone.
That
directly.
still makes him
I don't think it does.
Oh, you're okay.
Maybe a topic for another show.
Yes,
we can talk about our favourite serial killers. But yeah, anyway.
We do have a visitor now.
Point is, end of the show.